Hello and welcome to episode number 45 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is, are you being too short-sighted? Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, this is really interesting, and I really want to do these podcasts only because they really show me the reflection and the journey that I've been on, which is quite selfish enough, but I know that there are a lot of trainers who are in the same boat, who can learn a lot from my lessons as well. And inside this podcast episode today, I want to talk about how being so short-sighted can make your business suffer long-term, can lead to you spiraling out of control, you waking up in a bad state, you waking up feeling like, holy crap, you are jumping out of a plane and you don't have your stuff sorted, okay? And what I mean by that is, if you're a person at the moment, if one day you're happy, the next day you're frantic, the next day you're happy, the next day you're wondering what life is and whether you're on the right track, it's because you're currently being so short-sighted inside your business. And I'm going to present a solution to this today. And you know what? The only reasons why I can talk about this is because this is where my business was operating at. And the biggest struggles I've had to overcome over the last year, over the last 18 months is having a look at, okay, what's the long-term vision? What's the long-term goal? Where do I want to end up in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? What's the impact that I want to be able to make with my business? And I know for a lot of personal trainers out there, the first impact that you want to make is you want to look after yourself and you want to make more money and you want to get more clients. And I get that. But if that's what you're going to focus on, then that's all you'll ever get. You're constantly focusing on getting more clients, okay? Because what happens when you think about getting more clients is you're so fixed on it that you do get more clients and then you stop because now you've got clients, and then you wait until you're drowning again and the bucket's empty, and then you're back on. And if you're like me, that's what I went through for a good 18 months of my business, constantly on hunt mode. And you know what, at the time it was because of the lack of money, but more so it spiraled my business out of control. And at the end of the day, now when I've become more wiser and I've had all the battle scars, I've learned, well, what was I doing all that for in the first place? Why did I want to operate my business? Why did I want to go online? Why did I stop working at the gym, where the gym was such a great place to interact with people? Why did I transition to go behind my laptop? And initially, at first, what happens is we generally at first want to go online for more freedom. And then what happens is when you get stuck because you're so short-sighted, okay, when you get stuck because you're so short-sighted, you don't see and you lose sight of why you went into this business in the first place. You end up getting stuck in this vicious cycle of constantly getting clients and losing clients, getting clients, losing clients, getting clients, losing clients. And you know what? At the end of the day, I wasn't becoming, I hadn't achieved this business that I set out to achieve, number one, which was more freedom. I felt more stuck than ever because now when I went on holidays, my laptop and my phone and Facebook and WhatsApp and Snapchat was attached to me. Whereas when I was at the gym, when I went on holidays, I was on holidays. It was the best thing ever. I could switch off. And it wasn't working because when I jumped online, I wanted more freedom. And that was the first thing, and that was the first step. And so, you know what? I lost sight of that because my main focus became getting more clients. And like I said, if your main focus is so short-sighted and your main focus is getting more clients, you'll get more clients. But that's it. If that's your main focus, you'll lose that, and then you'll lose clients again. And because you've achieved that goal, you take your foot off the pedal. And so this podcast today is trying to help you not be so short-sighted, because I know a lot of you, I listen to personal trainers, I read the stuff that you write inside the group, I get emails saying, Lynn, I went online because I want more freedom and complete control of your life. And if that's where you are at the moment, and that's exactly where I was, you need to have a look at your long-term vision. You need to have a look at, what are you doing all this for? You need to have a look at, number one, what are you doing all this for? Number two, where do you want to be in a year? You need to start mapping this out. Where do you want to be in a year in terms of your business? How many hours do you want to be working? Because here's the truth. The truth is, if you don't have clarity on your goals, if you don't know exactly where you want to be, you're not going to get there. Just like if your client doesn't know how much weight they want to lose, they'll never get to their end goal. They might lose a little bit, but they'll always be dissatisfied. Okay, so until you define a set of goals of where you want to be, that's the first step. And the second step is going, okay, well, rather than making money, how big or how many people do you want to impact? What kind of a movement do you want to spread? What kind of story do you want to spread? Is there a message? Is there a dissatisfaction that you find in the fitness industry now that you're so dissatisfied about that you're quite upset with? Or, you know, like me, I went inside the fitness industry trying to get lean, trying to get into shape, and I was doing the whole bodybuilding diet. I was eating 6 meals a day. I was eating chicken breast, broccoli, brown rice for 2.5 years, right? And then I realized it's quite upsetting, because then I realized there was a better way, and that's just eating 2 meals a day, training harder. You know, the fact is, yes, dieting for most people is the problem, but I think for guys, if they don't train hard enough, you know, you don't see Michael Phelps on a diet. You see these guys training hard enough, putting in the work. And so my philosophy began, okay, well, rather than focus on the diet, which you can only drastically change, why not increase your training? Why not train harder? Why not train with more intensity so that you can eat more and you have that lenience, right? And so that became my dissatisfaction, because, you know, what I got caught in inside my own story was that I had to eat a certain way or get fat. I had to eat at certain times. If I didn't have protein and carbs after my meal, I wasn't going to gain muscle. And so these things trapped me in this self-belief. And so the message I decided to share that I was passionate about was, hold on guys, just train harder, hit your personal best, and be okay on your diet, and you'll get results. You'll get phenomenal results. Okay, so I want you to think about, great, what do you want your life to look like in the next year? But ultimately as well, what kind of message do you want to share that you're passionate about? Because if you're not passionate about your message, there is no reason to push through the grind, the hustle. There is no reason to want to beat the other 300,000 million personal trainers that are jumping in online now, right? There is no passion. Because if you're not passionate, if you don't have a why would you want to run a marathon, okay, against all these other personal, you'll give up. If you want to run a marathon purely for the sake of running a marathon, then that's cool, but you're going to lose. You're going to lose that race against someone else who's more hungry, who's more driven. So my message today to you is really a reflection of myself and having a look at what happened when I was short-sighted. Well, I was very tactical. I looked at Facebook ads. I looked at the latest hacks. I looked at, you know, should I use email marketing? Okay, well, there's big things on Periscope and Snapchat. Should I be on there? And that's all very tactical. And that's great, but until you've got your long-term vision established, just like your client, you know, if your client wants to lose, you know, 5 kilos in the next 7 days or 10 pounds in the next days, that's great, right? But unless they've got the foundations in place, their metabolism's fine, they've got a good base and they're exercising 5 days a week or 3 days a week, and they're doing some strength training and their nutrition's on point, then, you know, by doing that yo-yo, it's going to damage them drastically. Okay, because if they don't have the foundations in place, what do you think is going to happen after they do your 7-day challenge or a 7-day, you know, quick fix, right? They're going to gain the weight back up and then they're going to yo-yo. So you need to have a look at that inside your business. And, you know, I tend to think that if you applied, and for most personal trainers, this is a big thing, that if you applied everything you knew about fat loss and personal training and getting into shape, you know, the same fundamentals, the same principles, right? The foundations that it takes a bit of time, number one, and you have to have the foundations in place. If you applied those strategies and those principles to your business, then you would be very, very successful. But the problem for most personal trainers is that they have this idea of, you know, quickly getting clients online, this idea of signing up, being so short-sighted and having a look at what's happening in the next month, right? And they don't have the foundations in place. And the foundations is, what are your goals? Why are you doing this? Okay. How much income do you want to make? What's your life going to look like? And then figuring out the basis, figuring out your business model that's going to support that. And what I mean by this is, if you just want to work 10 hours a week and you want to make $100,000 a year, well, what business model do you need so that you can scale? You know, a business model that if you sell what I call one-to-one training, can you charge $5,000? And if not, how can you build something that's scalable? Because at this very moment in time, most personal trainers' business models don't suit their vision. And most personal trainers don't have an overall vision. So my thing for you today is really to sit down and have a self-analysis of what your business is doing. Really sit down and take a look at, okay, have I thought about my long-term vision? What message am I spreading? And you don't have to follow the trend. Don't follow the trend. In fact, create your own trend. Find out what you're so dissatisfied with inside the fitness industry. Find out your own journey of what you went through and what changes you made along the way. Because I bet you at the start, you didn't know everything. At the start, I thought I knew everything inside the fitness industry like every other trainer does, right? And then not long did I realize that, holy crap, I don't have to eat 6 meals a day. I don't have to have protein and carbs right after my workout. I don't have to do things a certain way. And you should start to spread that message because that's something that you believe in, okay? And it's truly authentic. So what I want you to do today, and your task for today inside this podcast episode, is to really take a look at what your long-term vision is. How much money do you want to make? What are you going to do to support that income? What's your business model? Are you selling high-ticket coaching? Are you running a membership site and you're hoping to get 1,000 members in there? What's your model? And choose one model. Because what I see so many times inside the fitness industry is so many trainers want to train 2 to 3 different niches. So many trainers want to start a membership site and then they want to do a flagship program and then they want to do retreats. The problem is, and here's the truth, if you can't do one, you can't do any. Okay, so stop chasing all the rabbits. If you try to chase 2 rabbits, you'll get none. Okay, that's a great Chinese saying that I heard somewhere. But if you try to chase 2 rabbits, you'll end up with none. Chase 1 rabbit. Chase it until you complete it. I need you to focus. Put 110% focus on one model, the highest paying model. For most people, that's high ticket stuff. That's selling $1,000, $2,000 programs. Because if you do that, you just need to sell 100 a year, right? And then once you have that, then open your membership side. But for this very moment in time, I know it's hard because when you can't sell your $1,000 program, you pivot. Okay, and that's what I call resistance. That's what Stephen Pressfield calls resistance. So that is your job for today. And your next job is to go in and consult and share this podcast with another personal trainer, a coach, a friend who you can consult with, who can keep you accountable, okay, who you can trust. Because ultimately, you know what? I've done this and I see the patterns between the most successful people, and the most successful people, I've said this time and time again, have a support network that are on the same journey. They have friends that are all on the same journey. So what you need to do, you want to get on the same journey, you want to spread the message, is get them to listen to this podcast and they will be the person that you hang out with. All right. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next podcast episode. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.